Hey guys and dolls, it is your favorite girl, and I am about to interview some major legends in the business. I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous too. So if I lose my words and such, I hope you understand. But if you didn't know, it's the 20th anniversary of the Peachtree Village International Film Festival. We call it the PVIFF. And this year's um, Actors Boot Camp. Oh, Actors Boot Camp. And I want to talk about how a boot camp is different from a class, but the Actors Boot Camp at this year's festival is hosted by none other than the legendary, oh my gosh, Bill Duke. Hello, sir. Welcome, welcome,
Well,
welcome.
God bless you. Glad to have us here.
He does bless me, especially to be here right now. And then, wetting your palate, down below, we have an actor that we all know and love as well. Mr. Carl Gilliard is in the house. Hey,
Hello there, Chris Styles.
hello there.
Hello there, Mr. Duke.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, I'm great.
So we're talking about the boot camp, and I think the biggest question for me, well, not the biggest, but one of the things I'm just curious about right now, it's not being promoted as a class. Don't come take a class with, Bill Duke and Carl Gilliard. It's a boot camp. So can someone just tell me the difference between a boot camp and a class, if there is one?
That's on you, Carl.
Oh, it is? Okay,
Yes.
this is something that I never heard before I heard Mr. Duke do it. And it goes back to the 90s. And let me just tell you my experience. So the first Bill Duke boot camp that I took was in 1997. And I deemed it as kind of a bait and switch because at least I did, thought it was going to be an actor's class like you're describing, Chris. You come in and you do your scenes for the great Bill Duke, and maybe Mr. Duke might put you in one of his movies. That was what I thought about in 1997. But when I came into the class, it was a bait and switch because it became a lot more than that.
Hmm.
So the boot camp does include acting, scenes, and monologues and that kind of thing. You will be critiqued by Mr. Duke, but also we bring in other aspects of the business. In this case, when I came in, it was about, creating your own content, creating your own tribe, not waiting for the phone to ring, things of that nature. But in 2025, it's going to be about AI, how to still not be an actor waiting for the phone to ring. We're going to bring in other new technologies. Mr. Duke's going to share from some interesting things that are emerging technologies in the marketplace today. So it's not just acting class. That's the best way to put it. And it's condensed, 5 hours for 2 days. So it's like literally going like this the whole time.
Yeah, actually, I was
Doesn't
going to
stop.
ask you if it
We
was.
might we might not let people eat.
Yeah. Come on now, girls got to eat. That's
No,
the
you ain't
podcast
eating,
now.
Chris, you can't eat. You better eat before you come.
So,
And
Bill,
drink
the
water. No
class.
water either.
Oh Lord, stop it! Like sounds like a
Or
concentration
breathing.
camp. Stop
No
it.
breathing. No
No
breathing.
breathing, right, Mr. Duke? No breathing.
Again, no breathing.
So, Bill, I saw an interview with Taraji, and she talked about the fact that she and some other actors approached you about actually starting this in California at the Hudson Theater. So, is that where the boot camp originated? Just to clarify.
It's originally, yes. Garaji and some other. Carl, can you talk about some of the folks that were in that class?
Yeah, that was the class I spoke about in 1997. How I
Okay.
thought that's exactly the same class. In fact, Taraji, myself, and the young lady by the name of Lalanya Masters ran that class for Mr. Duke. We were the monitors. And that was my first experience. So it was Taraji Henson. This is before she was Taraji, who she is now.
Yeah.
Taraji Henson, Anthony Anderson, Shamar Moore, Monica Calhoun, Lisa Ray McCoy, Chris Spencer, many other people. Those are the main ones. I'm missing somebody I know, but it was about 30 people in that class. And all of these people I mentioned, Anthony, Taraji, Shamar was on the soap. Shamar was on The Young and the Restless. So
Okay.
and Lisa Ray had done the first movie,
Players
Players
Club.
Club. She had done that,
Mhm.
but she had come off of that into this class. So Players Club had just come out, and Lalanya was the main spark plug behind the class. I think she and Mr. Duke had a partnership to create this class, and then Lelania brought Taraji on, and then I kind of came in another way. So the three of us ran the class, and it's like the most memorable experience as an actor I've ever had in a class, bar none, bar
So
none.
you're hitting these, you're dropping these names, and I'm like, okay, were there people like, say, me in the class
Well,
working
you would
together?
have been you. See, these people were not. These people were like you at the time.
True.
Everybody who I named, except for Shamar, well, and Lisa Ray, they were like you. Taraji was just like you. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, Taraji was just like you. Taraji hadn't done anything. Anthony Anderson, same thing. He hadn't done much either. Neither one of those guys had done much at that time. So
Okay.
yes, you would be you. If you had been there in
I would have been,
1997, you might be Taraji right now. No, you'd be Chris right now, but you'd be doing what Taraji's doing.
yeah, we be working side by side,
Side
side
by
by
side.
side.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Dag, I missed that class in
You
97.
didn't. Well, you might have been only like 3 years old though.
Right. Exactly. Seven. I was seven.
You were 7. Really?
Carl, stop.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, how did you all come to host the class this year in the festival? The boot camp. I'm sorry.
Well, when you have someone as anointed and legendary as Bill Duke in your city, which is Atlanta, you'd be remiss if you don't at least try to set something up like this. And so Len Gibson, who was a part of our, men's breakfast tribe,
Hmm.
and Mr. Duke always comes to those breakfasts. That's kind of how it started. So,
Okay. Okay. So Len Gibson and Wayne Overstreet are the creators of the Peachtree Village
you know
International.
what? I was told that that's not true. I was told it was Lynn and JB. I always thought it was Wayne too, but someone corrected me the other day.
Okay.
So obviously, Wayne is a big part of it. Obviously, he and Lynn are in business together in Go
Yeah.
Media. But the festival is Lynn and JB. Now, if
Ah.
I'm speaking out of turn, you go get Monica Reed because she's the one who told me that, yeah, I'm dropping your name, Reed. You're the one who told me and corrected me sternly too.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's good to know because I know in years past when I've covered the event, done the red carpet and just covered it, that the conversations were always with Lynn and Wayne.
Because
And
they
I
are
think,
partners. They are partners,
yeah,
and
right,
he's
right.
obviously there. But that's
Okay,
what I was told the other day when I made the same statement you made. I was corrected.
okay, okay.
Hmm.
Bill, I have a question for you, sir. Um, when you're doing these boot camps, I imagine it's because you've been in the business so long and you're so talented and gifted yourself, would you say you have an eye for those who have it? And then I have a follow-up question to that as well.
Well, habit is interesting because you may have the talent, but if you don't have the craft,
Ooh,
it's a whole other thing. You come to the class to turn your talent into the craft of acting.
ooh,
As Carl can tell you, acting is the wrong word because it implies that you're pretending. But the great actors don't pretend, they become. They become the character.
yes.
They lose themselves.
Hmm.
And that takes courage, it takes practice and training.
So is it safe to say that because I have a passion to act, if I would start diving into the boot camps and the classes and the master classes that Carl I've signed up for because of you, doing all of those, that it's possible to develop the craft, or do you have to have something before you can? Can everybody develop the craft? I guess is the question.
I think there is talent, but I think if people are willing to listen and practice, that you can't develop the craft.
Mhm.
But it takes time, it takes commitment and devotion to it. It's not just something that's, scatterbrained kind of like in your head. as Carl can tell you, this is a tough business. And if you don't have tough skin
Mm.
and you don't have the ability to really rise above your ego and really begin to, ego, ego,
Yeah.
edging God out. The thing is that if you don't have the ability to do that and become what the writer has written to become that, that's a whole other situation.
Wow. Wow. You dropping those words like ego. I've seen a lot of those, especially like when I do go to my classes and things like that. Speaking of, okay, and this, when I moved to Atlanta, I didn't realize that so many people coined themselves an actor or an actress after having done a lot of extra work.
Mhm.
And there's so many egos among the extras. Not saying, I mean, I've done extra work and I do consider myself a trained thespian,
You're a very good
stage.
actor, by the way, Chris. You don't sell yourself short. I've seen your work. You're phenomenal. Bill, she's great. But anyway, go ahead, Chris. I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
Don't make me cry. I just did my makeup. No, but seriously though, just after doing training and going to school for what I went to school for, and hearing people just say, well, I was on, such and such and such a show. I'm like, oh my gosh, what role? Or I was an extra in the scene with Denzel or in the scene with Bill Duke. And I don't know, sometimes I get in my feelings about that. I'm just like, did you speak? Did you have a character? And did you take time to develop something? What exactly? I don't understand. But you can't put extra work on your resume, right?
I
Or not.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, nor would I. But Mr. Bill, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, it depends on how much you consider a resume. You know, um, um, if your resume says I was there, hmm, and 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 well, I was there.
Yeah,
Okay, it's not going to get you a job.
yeah, yeah. And you can it doesn't show up on IMDb.
No,
For me, I'm like, jam my IMDb. Yeah, so
uh, because I am the wish I was there.
right, right. So we were talking about I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. OMG, you guys are blowing me out here. But I wanted to talk about some of the techniques that you learned when you were in the workshop, Carl, and are you applying those same techniques to your master class, to your intensive?
Oh, you just hit me with the fastball up the middle on this one. So I often joke with Mr. Duke about this when we play cards. I always tell people that I invite people to the Bill Duke Actors Boot Camp, and they show up and it's me. Um, you know, I learned so much in that class that I do still apply today. And when I look at my directing style, when I've directed some theater since I've taken the class, I've directed, some other things. And I have to say that I have literally adopted or stolen, oh, most of my skill set as a director and coach for Mr. Duke. A lot of it's temperament. I kind of call myself as a joke the actor's whisperer. And I think that's what Bill is. I'm going to tell a quick story. So, one time I'm doing a scene in the boot camp in 97. It was myself, it might have been Anthony Anderson and somebody else. We're doing the scene. Bill stops it. He tells the other actors to leave, leaves me up there. Then he starts asking me questions. Just starts asking me questions about whatever to really get me to connect to the
Yeah.
truth of my own personal humanity and how it related to the scene that we were playing. By the time Bill was done, and he hadn't done anything but talk, he wasn't screaming. He wasn't giving me some sort of a line read. He wasn't telling me how I should do it. He just talked to me and asked me questions. After about 3, 4 minutes, I was literally in the fetal position on the floor, sobbing. It was
Was
a major breakthrough. You could
Hmm.
hear a pin drop in that classroom. And this is in
Hmm.
front of everybody. And I remember after that was over, everybody hugged me and consoled me and talked about how great it was. And I never will forget Shamar Moore walked up to me and he really had a lot to say to me to encourage me. I will never forget that. And it was just a great class. And I think that the biggest takeaway outside of the craft is the tribe building. And that's also a huge part of my class. If you ever come to my class, you'll see my actors are very, very deferential toward one another. They work together, they help each other. And these people will work together on into the future, and doing great things. And they learned that in my class, but I learned it from Mr. Duke. And I mean, you should see my class. You see how tight they are.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
just very tight and they're just doing their thing. And
Thank you.
that today, even more than in 1997, is very important. You can't do nothing in this business without having other people who are
right.
creating and building with you. And that's what I learned from him. Did I answer your
Thank
question?
you.
Love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
that's a huge compliment to you, you know, Mr. Duke. They say what is it? What is the phrase where imitation or something like that is the biggest compliment? How does that somebody tell me you know what I'm talking about?
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Is that what you're
Yeah,
trying to
okay, that works. Yeah, that sounds a lot better than what I said. But Mr. Bill, I want to ask you both actually. So the thing about acting, so in acting class, like you said, there's scene work and things like that, but there's so much more. It's like you have to incorporate your entire body
say?
into that, your mind. I mean, so I want to ask, what type of exercises do you do in your boot camp? Like there's breathing, because I took the boot camp last year or the class last year with Lamont, Rucker, and Javon. Lamont and Javon. But yes, took it with them last year. But the whole breathing and the moving thing, what type of physical exercises do you do in your boot camp?
Well, I don't do a lot of physical exercising.
Okay.
What I work do is I after the actors, I have learned have doing all their lines and they're in the scene and we get deeper into the character. I ask them in terms of the next step I want them to do is to fall into darkness backward. Fall into darkness backward. You don't know where you're going to land.
Right.
You don't know what's going to happen, but you're trusting that something within you is going to blossom and become that character. And you don't control it, it controls you.
Oh, I I'm so excited about this boot camp coming up at the festival. So you said it's 5 hours a day?
It's 5 hours on Friday and five on Saturday, and we have guests coming in. So, the scene work will be interspersed between certain guests like Terry Vaughn is coming in and Eric Hamilton, who is an AI expert. This guy lives and breathes AI. He's going to come in and talk about the importance of that and embracing AI as being a central part of what you're doing today. You can't be in this business and not embrace AI because if you don't embrace it, it's going to just run ahead of you and run over you. And then we have Wayne and Len are going to talk about Gyro Go, the new platform they're launching, which is pretty exciting. And
Okay.
then in between that, you'll have, scenes and some other things that we'll talk about as well.
Okay. So the
Mhm.
people in the class will have an opportunity to do scene work with your
Oh,
guests?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Mr. Du, you can speak to this, but you know, what we're telling people is bring monologues. Bring a monologue. If Chris, if you come to the class and you have another partner who's paying for the class, you can do a scene with that person if you want to. Or you can do a scene and your monologue if you have somebody you can work with. So, depending on how much time we have
Mhm.
left.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Mhm.
So has there ever been anybody that has, and this is really rude, but has there ever been anybody who's come into either of your boot camp or your class or whatever, and you felt like they just weren't getting it or didn't have the talent or something to be developed? Has
Mm.
there ever been anybody like that?
Ah, what? Um, you know what? Let me say it this way. I can speak for my class.
Okay.
In Bill's class, there was nobody. Everybody in our class has the potential to do whatever they want to do. In both those, we did the boot camp in '97 and the boot camp in 2009. In 2009, by the way, had Imiati Coronaldi, A Reasonable Doubt. She was in that class. Um, I would say in my class that I've seen some actors who probably don't have it, but they tend to quit. So I tell actors all the time who come into my class, I ask them to give me at least 3 months if they can. It's not mandatory, but I ask them for 3 months.
Yeah.
But the way that I train the actors and the way that I encourage them to dive in, to read the books that we've assigned, to create partnerships with my class, which is very, very easy to do, and to bring scenes to the class and deal with what happens in redirect, it's not for everybody. So, you get in the class and you start doing the work, you say, oh, this is not what I thought it was. And Mr. Duke alluded to that earlier when he talked about you become the character.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's something most people can do on some level, but you have to be willing to release and trust, and you have to put the work in. Because if you don't put the work in, you're going to be frustrated and you will quit. You know?
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I
But
would.
there's an old saying, um, everybody wants to go to heaven, but don't nobody want to die.
Wow, that's a good one.
And
That's
the question is, how you gonna get to heaven if you don't die?
which kind of takes me back to the fall into the darkness thing, I think, in my mind, fall
Yes,
into a darkness
yes,
and then you're becoming,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And
Trust,
by the way, I say
trust.
that to my students all. I told you I rip off. I shamelessly rip off Mr. Duke stuff. I say that to them all the time. They'll tell you. Yep.
I think that's awesome. Talk to me about some of the upcoming projects you have. So I know that you have obviously the boot camp happening, but what about the Atlanta Renaissance? And then you've
Mhm.
got Cigars and Success. I think you mentioned that when we were in your class a few weeks ago, Carl.
Oh, okay. So Mr. Duke's a part of. Both of us are a part of this monthly breakfast that we have. It
Hmm.
started off for me when I moved to Atlanta. I just wanted to, kind of, incorporate myself into the, Atlanta culture. So I would invite some people to have breakfast. Then it just kind of grew. And then Mr. Duke moved here and he's been to just about all of them. And now we've got between, well, 30, 35 men who come like every month to these breakfasts. So we call ourselves the Atlanta Renaissance, and we expect there to be some bigger things coming out of it. Projects, there's already things within the group between people who are working together from the breakfast.
Hmm.
But the event at the film festival is going to kind of dive into some of the subject matter about, men taking back the community, men, invoking and inserting ourselves into our communities and taking charge of our families in the way that I believe God intended. And we're going to touch on a lot of different things. So that's going to be what that's about. And also, we're going to touch on, obviously, entertainment industry topics as well. I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And then the Cigars and Success.
That's it.
Okay, so that's the Cigars and Success.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it came from the Atlanta Renaissance. So, because Len and Wayne come to the
Okay.
breakfasts regularly. And so Len came up with this way to do this panel that's
Okay.
going to kind of build on the theme of men uh, taking their power back, working together in spite of whatever differences, really building community with each other first and then expanding it out into the community. So this is going to be what the Cigars and Success, which I forgot that's what the name of it was. but that's what it is.
So, and then you talked about, because we don't want to leave the ladies out, but I
Okay.
know your wife is also having something for the women that she started, and I guess reincorporate or bringing it back to life. What was the name of that one?
Sistars,
Sistars?
sistars.
Okay. Oh, I
Hmm.
like that.
That's her thing. She's always women love my wife. Everybody loves her actually. People meet her and they don't like me anymore, but I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? They love, but women in particular love her.
I
So
do.
that's something that she does. Has she invited you to this?
Not yet. I know we talked about it at
Okay.
the class the other night, but
She does them like every month, I think, or every couple of weeks. Don't quote me.
okay.
But sometimes they do them in people's houses. Sometimes she does it via Zoom. And then last week she did it at some place in Atlanta.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I just saw a video montage that she
mhm.
put on
Yeah,
Instagram. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of like on the, and that's not, it looks like we're doing it on purpose, but it really isn't. It's not, it's got nothing to do. We didn't like sit up in huddles. Okay, you do your women's group. Okay, you do your men's group. Break. That's not what happened. We just kind of organically happened like that. She's been doing it for a long, she did it in LA too.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Nice,
Hmm.
nice. Mr. Bill, what is your hope for the boot camp next? What is your hope? What do you hope to see? And then what do you hope the end result to be after we partake in your boot camp?
Well, a couple of things. For the actors, as Carl eloquently spoke of, uh, teach them the craft of acting. For the writers and directors, teaching them the craft of writing and directing because it's storytelling
Yes.
and how to tell a story, but also we call it edutainment because you entertain people to make the investor their money back, but also you give people something to think about and feel. And so my hope is that it does that. Secondly, I hope that we are able to relay the urgency and importance of the embracing of AI. Not that we want it to replace humans, because the projects I'm creating right now, I refuse to have just AI involved. I use AI, but I have actors and um, line producers and people that I use because I don't want humans replaced. I want to use AI as a tool to help do what we do, but I'm not into just AI written, acted, directed, edited, produced movies. That's, and I know that friends of mine think I'm an ancient scroll because of that. But I'm just saying, I'm not turning AI down because the genie's out of the bottle. But we do not want to turn away the human process, human beings involved. That would be a big mistake.
I agree. And AI can be a scary thing, especially, they with the whole strike. And then because I guess actors were afraid that we were going to be replaced or our images were going to be used, like, I don't say against us, but if that's your livelihood, you don't want somebody pretending to be you when
Right.
it's not somebody or something
Mm-hmm.
pretended to be you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So yes, I definitely am working on jumping on the AI train. There's a lot to learn. When I try, it's like describe, and it's like it's in my head. I don't. It's hard to pull out of my head. Ah. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's coming up? What's in the future for you all? Are you predict or bleh, are you specifically directing and producing, Bill, or are you getting back in front of the camera at some point?
I'm doing a little bit of both.
Oh, okay.
Um, I'm starting my own network, and I have a team that's putting that together
Hey.
with Eric Zuley and some other people. Um, And I'm developing some projects also that I'm putting together, like, webisodes and a feature film also.
Oh, wonderful.
And really, with my foundation, giving back. Um, I want my foundation to fill the gaps in terms of what education is not preparing students for. There are students that are going to colleges that are studying disciplines that will be obsolete
Oh,
by the time they graduate, and they'll still owe the student loan.
yeah.
Can you imagine that? And you have to pay the loan back, and you can't pay it back with what you've learned. So we want to really examine that and see what are the future jobs that are not going to exist and what are some of the ones that will exist to take advantage of that.
Well, what's your foundation?
Yes.
What's the name of it? What's the mission?
Well, the Duke Media Foundation,
Duke Media.
uh, and that's our mission to give back and to push forward because we really have to understand that we have to find ways of embracing AI. Because I said before, the genie is not going back in that bottle.
Right.
But as a friend of mine told me one time, and when I was complaining, this is when I was a young man, and I was at a therapist, and I was angry black man. The industry was so unfair, and da 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 da. I went on and on and on. The therapist says to me, "Billy, you finished?" I said, "Yeah, I'm finished." He said, "Bill, you're describing big giant, this big giant industry thing that has its foot on your neck and it's crushing your head and crushing your neck, and you're just complaining about how big and powerful it is." He said, "Bill, but there's one thing you're overlooking." I said, "What is that?" He said, "Bill, if he has his foot on your neck and you turn your head, you can always bite his toe."
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna always refer back to that. Always refer back to that.
You can always bite his toe.
Yes. Paid a lot for these teeth. We're gonna put them to work.
That's right. Put those feet to work. That's right.
Carl, what's coming up for you?
Well, I of course have two acting classes that are I'm really quite proud of. I'm just really didn't think I'd be doing that here in Atlanta, but I'm just very happy with the few people we have in the class. They're getting so much out of it, and it really blesses me. And that's really kind of become my work more so than I thought it would be.
Oh,
So I've got two acting classes. I'm also teaching at Atlanta Metro College. I have two classes there, teaching performance studies and it's a filmmaking class I'm doing as well
oh wow.
there. And but I'm up for several things. I am set to direct a series, but it's not nothing signed. So as Bill knows, if you ain't got in paper, you ain't got nothing. But we've been talking about it, and the scripts I have them, and it's phenomenal. And I'm supposed to direct four episodes of that.
That's
So
awesome.
other than that, I mean, my series I shot some years ago was called Black Famous.
Mhm.
We're looking to drop that on Tubi and also on Jaro Go.
Oh,
So, and
okay.
Mr. Duke, he, he did an episode of it, right? And I dropped a clip from it the other day, and people are just cracking up. And one thing I'm proud of the show is very low concept. It's very silly. But I was able to get Mr. Duke to do a super stupid comedy thing that no one's seen him do. So, yeah, so that's supposed to be coming out on Tubi, but I'm gonna be dropping it in other places as well. So, and I'm
Awesome.
auditioning, you
Awesome.
know,
Oh, okay.
same
Okay.
old thing.
I was going to ask you that. Do you still have to audition for stuff?
Yeah,
You
I
all.
do. I don't think Bill does, but I do. I got a lot of friends who don't. I got lots of friends who don't audition, but I still do. I mean, not all the time. I get offered things, but I also still audition. I do. Bill, do you audition still?
No, sir.
No, sir. People audition for me. No.
I
I got a few friends who don't audition. Quite a few. But
Nice.
if I name their names, you would know who they are. But I'm just saying
Yeah.
they don't, have a lot of famous friends. I'm blessed to be cool with a lot of people who really inspire me. That's the great part about this business. You say it long enough, you see everybody do their thing, and you're happy for everybody
Hmm.
because your
Yes,
turn will come.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Your turn will come.
yes.
Yeah.
So have you all, and we're gonna wrap things up, but in your careers, do you feel as though you've accomplished enough that if you just happen to stop today, that you will feel fulfilled in what you have presented to the world?
I feel fulfilled, and that doesn't stop me from creating,
Yeah.
you know, because, you, as Carl can tell you, if you have a creative spirit within you, it never sleeps.
Sleeps. That's true.
And so you're constantly, that's why sleeping is hard for people like Carl and I, because
Hmm.
it's like, it's hard shutting your mind. If you're a creative person, shutting your mind down
Hmm.
is not easy. I mean, because you come up with, I mean, I hate to say it, but I meditate every day. And as I'm meditating, I have a pad and pen near me because in my meditation, some of my best ideas come up.
Wow, I love that. That's powerful. That's
Yes,
very
it's true.
powerful.
For me, it's a shower. I don't know what that's about, but it's a shower. For me, it's a
No,
shower.
hey, Carl, no details, okay?
Please and thank you.
And um, I'm also fulfilled, but at the same time, I'm not going to stop creating. But I feel very,
Right,
if God willing, I have more time, but that's not up to me. As you know, people are passing away a lot more than I can
right,
remember in my lifetime.
right.
You know, But if that would have happened, if God would have called me home tomorrow, I'd be very happy with what I've been able to do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
Me too.
go ahead, mister. Go ahead.
I said me too.
Yeah.
I am very thankful to have crossed paths with each of you. Prior to this interview, um, conversations that we've had, challenges that we have presented, which actually makes me, better at my craft for seeing that and recognizing the things and learning the things that I've learned about. I've always loved Al Pacino. So learning those things and seeing his initial interview for The Godfather and just the little tidbits you send me, I'm thankful for you both, for your knowledge, for your wisdom, for your contribution. Oh my gosh. So that being said, for anyone who is watching this, if you have the opportunity to attend the boot camp during the 20th anniversary of the PVIFF, the Peachtree Village International Film Festival with Bill Duke and Carl Gilliard, please do. Don't miss that opportunity. Not if you really if you're serious about your craft, not your acting, but your craft and becoming. Make sure you are there. Hey, shameless plug. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
I'm Chris. I'm telling you, you better keep on going. I don't know where you are with your craft, and I know that you juggling balls in the air. It's tough to keep going and got to keep eating. but you are phenomenal. You have a
Yes,
personality. You're kind and funny, and and you're talented.
very talented.
I'm telling you, you're talented. So that's from us to you. Make sure you keep going. And if you ever think about quitting, call me or send me an inbox, and I'll send you a Godfather tape or something.
Yeah, and if you ever think about Quentin, and I find out, I'm going to come and snatch all extensions out your hair.
He will too. He did it. Look at that. Look what happened to me. See, I thought about quitting and look at me. See?
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay. If that's not incentive, I don't know what is. If that's not incentive, I don't know what is. All right. So the dates again for the boot camp?
October 18th. Is it 18th and 19th or 17th and 18th? Uh-oh. You caught me off guard. It's a Friday and Saturday.
The Friday and Saturday
So
of the
I think
festival.
it's 17th and 18th. But if that's not Friday and Saturday, it's the 18th and the 19th.
I think the 19th is Sunday.
Oh, there you go. It's
So
the 17th and 18th.
either way, you guys can check it out on the PVIFF
Yes, you
website. That's
can. Yes, you can.
PVIFF.com. 20th anniversary, guys and dolls. Tell everybody how they can follow you. Mr. Bill.
Real Bill Duke on Instagram and other, so I'm very glad that that's there.
Yes. Yes. I'm still learning, but go ahead.
And Carl Gilliard, like you see on the screen there, at Carl Gilliard on Instagram, and also my series, Black Famous Series,
Yeah.
is also on Instagram, and the Carl Gilliard Actors Intensive is also on Instagram. And
Can
on
I
Facebook
get the
too.
Black Famous t-shirt?
You want a Black Famous t-shirt?
A Black Famous t-shirt.
Okay, we got to order some more because they become a little popular. We got to order some more.
Yes. I want to be, one of the cool kids and like, yes, you know all about that life. I know about that life.
Yes.
Okay, guys and dolls, it's your favorite girl, Chris Styles. Continue to follow the world of One Black Woman Entertainment. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Mr. Bill Duke and Mr. Carl Gilliard for the 20th anniversary of the PVIFF. Don't go too far. There's always more to come. Chat soon. Bye. Bye-bye now.
Goodbye. Take care.
See you
Bye-bye
later.
now.
Bye.
Bye. And we didn't mention that these two are being honored at the PVIFF this year, so don't miss it.